Hello and welcome to Rep Sports. The Indian team, the men in blue, are only one T20I fixture away from the T20 World Cup at home. They will want to go in as favorites, which they will, and want to defend their World Cup title. Now, joining me for this discussion is Ashok Nambudiri, Vaibhav Tripathi, and Shomik Chakrabarti. The question that we're asking today is the India playing 11 settled, or do you think the management, for what it's known for, the horses for courses philosophy, is the key to the World Cup defense? I'll start with you, Ashok. We discussed this yesterday as well, but now that you've had a day to think about it, you've seen some experiments in the four matches that you've seen in the India versus New Zealand T20I series. You've seen Rinku at number 4, and you've seen Ravi Bishnoi coming in. You've seen Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh both being tested alongside Ravi Bishnoi as well in the absence of Washington Sundar. Do you think the playing 11 is settled, or do you think the playing 11 changes and is flexible according to conditions?
So I think fundamentally in the T20 format and in a tournament like the ICC T20 World Cup, you need to have a team set, a final playing 11 set at the level of a 75-80% confidence, and keep a 25 to 30% room for variability depending on the opposition, depending on the conditions, depending on what your strategy on that day is. So, if you ask me to that extent, when you use that filter, I think, contrary to what we were discussing yesterday, as I sat and worked out the final playing 11, I think in my mind, the Indian team final playing 11 is more or less is definite. It's got huge amount of depth. There is a lot of positive intent that the team is playing with, which is all signaling very, very positive. Now, if you look at it, depending on the conditions, there is some data points which also need to be factored into account. So we've seen, for example, that Sanju Samson, perhaps there's an issue in terms of his confidence. There is an issue in terms of the mind space that he is. And so that's one key question to answer in terms of is it now time for Ishan Kishan to replace him, or do we need to go in and give him maybe 2 or 3 more matches is the question that needs to be asked. Because all things said and done, if you look at the way Sanju Samson played in the domestic tournaments, the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, for example, he did a great job there. So it's not that he's coming in without runs behind him. He's coming in with confidence. He's coming in with runs. But perhaps it's an issue of confidence. It's an issue of the mind space that he is in, and that's what needs to be tackled. Otherwise, if you look at it in terms, so that's your opening combination. But depending on that, of course, number 3, number 4 would change. But then I think we are pretty much clear in terms of a Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dubey in the middle order. We also know that when Bumrah and Arshdeep are together, we get the maximum number of wickets in the power play over. So that's a given. Varun Chakrabarti is in the form of his life, and he makes it to the team any which way. And therefore, Akshar Patel is the vice captain. He is a wily cricketer. He's perhaps the most improved cricketer in the squad. And then, depending on whether you want to bat deep, you've got a Rinku Singh, or depending on conditions, you could swap that with Kuldeep Yadav. Is my take. And so, for me, I think more or less that team is formed. The only question to answer is Ishan Kishan versus Sanju Samson. And if that happens, then you have 3 left-handers. So then do you have a change in the order? And does Kai promote himself to come in at number 3?
Right. Shomik, I'll go over to you next. We've discussed plenty about Sanju Samson versus Ishan Kishan. Let's not go back to that debate right now. Let's, tackle it from a different angle. Left combination. Do you think it's something that the management will not go for, knowing that Gautam Gambhir has been prioritizing left-right combination for the past couple of years? Or do you think in this changing and evolving landscape of T20I cricket, a left opening combination does not really matter?
Gargi, at the end of the day, you play your best players, irrespective of a player is a left-hander or a right-hander. Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma was supposed to be India's first choice opening pair. for the World Cup, and when the selectors picked the team, they formed it, they picked it that way, and Ishan Kishan was the reserve. But now, given the current form and Sanju Samson, and we have discussed it enough that it is on the face of it, it's a confidence issue. Then and Ishan Kishan has been striking the ball very very well, so it absolutely doesn't matter. And even if Tilak Verma is your number three, and you can change the number three and number four position, because if you want, depending on the situations, depending on the opposition and the bowlers are bowling, if you want to bring in Surya Kumar Yadav at number three and Tilak at number four, you can jolly well do that. As Gautam Gambhir already, I mean, I think he earlier said that in T20 cricket, only the position of the openers are fixed and rest is flexible. So from that point of view, and Surya has played at number three, Tilak can play at number four, so that should not be a problem. At the end of the day, you pick your best players, you play your best players, and irrespective of whether he is a left-hander or a right-hander, and given the current form, given at this moment in time, uh, it looks like Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma as the would be the right choice as far as opening the innings is concerned.
All right. Weber, what are your thoughts? Let's start from the top and then go down, because if we look at the batting lineup, we know that batting till number eight is a non negotiable. That number eight batter comes in as an all rounder, could be anyone at this point, because we all know from what Ryan Tendoshkate has said in the Asia Cup, what Tilak Verma has said last year, that apart from the openers, everyone else is flexible. Everyone can be floated up and down the order. We saw Rinku Singh coming in at 4 yesterday. But if you have a left opening combination, how are you seeing the rest of the batting lineup form? Do you think it's still a very horses for courses approach, or do you have a cemented, number 1 to 8 in your mind?
See, I think still, still the playing 11 is more or less settled, and Sanju Samson still remains the first choice wicketkeeper batter, unless and until if he fails in the last match as well. Because you have to understand that this team management has a lot of trust in Sanju's ability, not just as batter, as a wicketkeeper as well. And there is a good reason why when he was given a comeback into the India team, at that time he was not in a great form. Even his T20I record suggests the same, that he was struggling in the middle order. That's why they promoted him at the top of the order, and that's where he scored the three centuries. But again, he was demoted when Shubman Gill came in. So I think it all depends on how Sanju fares in the last T20I. If he doesn't perform, I think still team management can try him for the next two games, because there is a game against USA and then you have to play Namibia on 13. These two games, the group games against Namibia, Netherlands, USA, you still feel you can try and experiment, because you know that even if one or two batters fails, you have the team who can beat these teams, because these teams on paper, they are definitely not at the caliber of how the Indian team plays. So I think there is still scope. But yes, if Sanju fails in the last T20I, then it will put immense pressure on the team management as well. Because Ishan is performing really well, you will have to give him a slot, because he has done nothing wrong since last year. Where look at his domestic record, he made most runs in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Then he made his comeback, and impactful runs is what I am talking about. And what's more concerning in regards to Sanju's form is the pattern of dismissal. See, Surya Kumar Yadav was also out of form. In 2024, he was averaging 24 or 25. Last year, he was averaging less than 15. But there were no concerns in regards to his technique or something. There was not a certain pattern in which he was getting dismissed. But if you look at Sanju Samson's last two dismissals, it suggests that he's getting caught on the crease. His feet is going nowhere, and that's where he has to work it out. Because teams will plan it out. Last year, England did. They used the short ball ploy against Sanju Samson in the 5-match series, T20I series. So you have to, get through this. You have to do something different in order to combat the team's tactics, and that's what Sanju Samson has to do if he has to get back among runs. There's a technical flaw, definite technical flaw, and if he doesn't correct that flaw, I think he will struggle. And if that is the case, then I think Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma will be the right choice to go. And then you will have a Tilak Verma at 3. I am seeing Tilak Verma as an automatic choice for number 3 position, because with Tilak there is a thing of strike rate. He takes a bit of time in the first 10 to 15 balls. He takes a bit of time. So I think team management will give him that role at number 3. And then Surya Kumar Yadav, he has scored most of his T20I runs batting at number 4. His record is impressive at that position. So I think Surya Kumar Yadav will be your number 4. Tilak Verma, whenever he comes back, is your automatic number 3. And then if Sanju fails, then Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma is the right way to go at the top of the order.
Bharat has also joined us. Bharat is on the way back to his home, if I'm not wrong.
No, I'm going to by two flights. I'm going to Thiruvananthapuram to
Okay, you're
cover the
going to the
final.
next game. All right. All right. I was
Uh, uh,
unaware of your travel plan. Yes,
Gargi,
Amit.
just a news update regarding Washington Sundar. Washington Sundar is expected to undergo a fitness test at COE in about a week's time, and depending on that, on the result of that fitness test, the selectors and the team management will take a call whether, I mean, if he is past fit, obviously he comes back. Otherwise, they will name a replacement.
And who could be this replacement, Bharat? What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's tough to say. Maybe it could be Rian Parag because he's been working out at NCA. I met him once. Someone who is a kind of an all-rounder. He bats, chips in with the ball, and I think he's a useful batter down the order somewhere at 5 or 6. So it could be, I think, Rian Parag, based on what I've also heard here or there. It seems like he's somewhere in the economy. Hopefully, he will get an opportunity because I think he's a very useful cricketer when he's in form. Although yes, he has a weakness or two, but I think he could be the option if Washington Sundar is out of the World Cup. So I think if it is fine, I will leave because the airport is very much near.
Absolutely. Ashok, I'm coming back to you now. Talking about Rinku Singh at number 4, I think that was a great masterstroke by the management. It's something we had been talking about for a long time. In domestic cricket, he plays up the order. He plays at number 5, number 4. And we know that he can build those long innings as well as with the compliments, of course, to his finishing abilities. This number 4 at Rinku Singh at number 4, it has unlocked this new dimension to India's batting depth. What are your thoughts?
I think going into this series versus New Zealand, Rinku Singh, we all knew could be flexible. He could move anywhere between number 5 and number 7, really. This experiment shows that he can actually move a little up the order. But I would tend to think that our number 1, 2, 3, 4 are more or less defined. And then with Hardik Pandya and Shivam Dubey, that's also defined. So it's still going to be flexibility in terms of a 5 to number 8, if I could call it. And that's what Rinku Singh really brings to the table, which is this flexibility that he can come in. He can actually force the pace. Even if there are 5 balls, 6 balls, 1 over to face, he can come and make a difference, which is that X factor that he brings to the table. So I wouldn't really disturb that. On top of that, of course, one should not demean the fielding prowess that he brings. He's an excellent fielder. The 4 catches that he took in the last match, I think that's the other added quality that he brings. So I would say that that's an experiment for sure. If you go back to the principle that your openers are fixed and then everybody else has to be flexible, I think we maintain the same principle. But I think the flexibility that he gives you is lower down the order to really turn things when there are, let's say, less than 10 balls left.
All right. Let's take a few comments and include our viewers in this discussion as well. Webab Taragi here is asking, we know that Bumrah is a clutch performer in ICC events, but post BGT, his consistency is an issue. Batters now taking chances against him quite often. Thoughts? Shomik, your thoughts on this?
I will never judge Jasprit Bumrah of all people based on what he has been doing in a bilateral series, in a bilateral ODI series or bilateral T20I series. World Cup, Jasprit Bumrah at the World Cup is a different beast. You saw that at the 2020 World Cup. And If someone has forgotten, he must revisit the final. He must revisit the final, and the final was gone. The game sat in the dugout, sat in South Africa's dugout. The way he pulled things back, the way he pulled things back. So, Jasprit Bumrah, see, Jasprit Bumrah, we shouldn't even bring him into the conversation. He is different. Jasprit Bumrah is different. There are other players, and there is Jasprit Bumrah. He is he is one of a kind. He is once in a generation player, and cometh the World Cup. It will be Jasprit Bumrah, uh, irrespective of the way he has been bowling off late. I think at this point in time he is deliberately bowling well within himself. There is no point. Yesterday's game, I didn't expect him to play at all. There's no point. What is the point of playing Jasprit Bumrah in such an inconsequential game? I did rubber. I expected Bumrah to go straight to the US game, but maybe for some reasons they decided to play Bumrah. Whatever be the reason, but I will never judge Jasprit Bumrah. Um, I will never judge Jasprit Bumrah based on his performance in the bilateral white ball series. And if someone still has doubts, go back to the Test cricket, Eden Gardens, what he did on a rank turner on day one, on a rank turner, his bowling performance. Go back to the Test matches he played at the three Test matches he played in England. Yeah, on a dead Lord's track, what he did with an older ball. So Jasprit Bumrah, I don't even want to bring him into conversation. He is one of a kind.
Vaibhav, there's a question here. Where did it go? Just give me a second. Okay, Anurag Mukherjee is saying, why not give Shreyas Iyer some game time? If Tilak Verma doesn't get fit or gets into another injury, we have no backup for him.
See, last game, it was a perfect opportunity for the team management to try out Shreyas. But now it gives you a sort of indication that the team management is not looking in that direction to calling up, Shreyas Iyer as a replacement if Washington Sundar gets ruled out. Because we are not even talking about Tilak Verma. We are expecting him to fit. He will join the squad in Mumbai on second or third. So Tilak is fit. Tilak will be there for the first game. He is expected to be available, fully fit. So there is no choice. There is no point in having Shreyas Iyer as a replacement player of Tilak Verma. You can say that in place of Washington Sundar, you could have considered him. But now this team management, the selectors have already hinted that if Washington Sundar gets ruled out, then there is an outside chance of a Ravi Bishnoi as well to make a comeback into the team. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been called up for the last T20 for the T20Is, this New Zealand T20Is. So I don't think Shreyas Iyer is in the scheme of things as far as the World Cup is concerned, and there is no point in giving him game time when he's not in the World Cup squad. World Cup is just around the corner, only one game away, and you have to try the players who are going to be there in the World Cup, not the ones who are just playing the gap fill role in this series. So there's no point. Even in the start of the series, I said if Shreyas Iyer comes back into the T20 team, there's no point in giving him game time because not a lot you can expect from him, because you know that he's not in the World Cup plans. He's not in your World Cup squad. So absolutely, I don't think it is a right choice to make to give him game time even in the last T20. I think India should stick to Sanju Samson, give him one more game, and bring in Ishan Kishan. Play with your seven batters. Last game you played with six batters. Play with your seven batters. Let Shreyas be. If there is an injury again, then Shreyas might come in just to fill the gap. Otherwise, there is no point in giving game time to Shreyas.
Rahul Joy is saying Riyan Parag at the center of excellence as standby for Washington. Okay. Abhay is saying that Surya said we want to give a chance to World Cup squad players, but Ravi Bishnoi will not be there. But they gave him a chance, but not to Shreyas. Uh, Ashok, how do you see this entire thing? I think Ravi Bishnoi here was given chances because if there is a possibility of Washington Sundar not making it back into the team, then you need to have that extra backup in a spinner, which is Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah, I agree with Vaibhav. I think at this stage, with 10 days to go for the World Cup to start, you also need something called rhythm. if I were to take a pick on what Shamik said, as to why Bumrah played, and perhaps he should have gone straight to the match against the US, my only answer there would be that sometimes it's about getting rhythm and maintaining that rhythm, and you want your bowlers to really feel that they are out there, and that's the only reason that one can put it down. For a similar kind of a reason, it's important that what Surya Kumar Yadav said, that the World Cup players need to be getting a chance, and that's the focus. And it's better to stick to that at this point of time, really, given that only 10 days are left. The only reason I agree with you, the only reason that Ravi Bishnoi got a chance is really because there must be a apprehension that Washington Sundar may not be ready, and that's the reason why there is a backup thinking that's happening. I think these moves are extremely well thought out, and they are not really left to chance. If you saw the what Sky said to the press, I think you can see, at least if you read between the lines, that there's a lot of thinking that's going on around some of these options.
Okay, Fitmonk is asking, Abhishek's philosophy is my way or the highway. भाई थोड़ा balance भी बनाना पड़ता है, especially in big games of World Cup. Shamik, I can't believe that we've reached a point where we're scrutinizing Abhishek Sharma's approach, but I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be the way that Abhishek Sharma has been approaching his game.
See, Golden Duck and low scores would be part of Abhishek Sharma's batting package. Uh, it is about the number of times he is playing the match winning knocks, and that far outweighs the number of times he is getting dismissed cheaply. So, from that point of view, I mean, it is absolutely not a concern. It is absolutely the one thing, the debate and the storyline of our show is that one thing you can debate, that whether India, the Gautam Gambhir's ploy that we should always play 8 batsmen. That is the right thing, because yesterday Surya Kumar Yadav after the game said that yes, we wanted to, we purposely played 6 batsmen because we wanted to test ourselves. And in hindsight, and hindsight gives you an advantage, and in hindsight, maybe if you had that extra batsman, someone pairing up with Shivam Dube, India probably would have pulled it off. But that said, it was just once again a dead rubber, and that was the perfect opportunity. But I think Gautam Gambhir's thought process of playing 8 batsmen, that is the right thing, because this T20 format, it is an out and out batsman's game, and in this format you can even chase down 250 plus. So it's always better to load your squad, to load your playing with 11 with batsmen.
Okay. Finally, the last question that I want to ask you, Vaibhav, here is before we close the show. Let's look at the big picture when it comes to the T20 World Cup. Is this the most flexible and deep Indian T20 squad that you have ever seen? And does that make them the favorite? Of course,
Gargi, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
I have to meet someone, so if I may take your leave.
sure, sure. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining. Yes, Weber. The big picture, is this the most flexible and deep Indian T20I attack that you've seen so far?
Definitely yes, because if I want to play the playing 11, if I pick the playing 11 for the USA game, then I will be having Akshar Patel at number 8, Abhishek Sharma, then Ishan Kishan oblique Sanju Samson, then Tilak Verma, Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya coming in at 5, Shivam Dube, Rinku Singh, and then Akshar Patel. So in this lineup you have Akshar Patel at 8, and then you have a Jasprit Bumrah. I would have Arshdeep Singh over Kuldeep Yadav, because obviously Varun Chakravarti is your first choice spinner. So I think Varun Chakravarti, Akshar Patel, 2 spinners, Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah as your 2 frontline pacers. Then you have three all-round options in Akshar Patel, Shivam Dube, and Hardik Pandya. 3 quality all-round options. The best part about this team is they have evolved Shivam Dube as a bowler. The amount of work that has been put in behind the scenes, in Shivam Dube's bowling, you all were there in Asia Cup. You saw, the role that he was given, power play, middle overs. he was there, he was taking wickets whenever he was called upon to. So I think if you say that this is the flexible, this is the most versatile or more flexible T20 teams, World Cup teams that we have seen, definitely yes. Because Akshar Patel can bat at four. We have seen in the T20 World Cup, last T20 World Cup, Shivam Dube is flexible enough to bat anywhere. Same is with Hardik Pandya. So your all-rounders are flexible enough. They are versatile enough to bat at any position. Rinku Singh is the same batter. Even Surya Kumar Yadav, he can at times he can bat at 5, 3, 4. So there is a flexibility. Tilak Verma, we have seen he can bat at 3, he can bat at 5 as well. So there is a lot of flexibility in this batting lineup, and that is what, you know. And even in the bowling attack, if you'll see, Varun Chakravarti can operate in the power play overs. He can be used in the slog overs as well. Same is with Bumrah. Same is with Arshdeep. I think there is a lot of versatility in this team, and this is the most important factor when you talk about a format like T20. So I think that there is a good reason why India are heading towards the World Cup as a favorites and hot favorites, red hot favorites.
India are the hot favorites. I think we agree on that. All of us have been agreeing on this in the past 40-20 matches that we've seen between India and New Zealand. The kind of dominance that we're seeing, it's almost as if New Zealand were playing a different brand of cricket and India was playing a different brand of cricket. And heading into this T20 World Cup, there's nothing that Indian fans would like more than Surya Kumar Yadav lifting that trophy once again, and this time a real one, not a make believe trophy that we all saw happening in Dubai. But thank you so much, Ashok and Weber, for joining. Thank you to Bharat, who tried his best to join but could not, and Shomik as well, who's out there covering a Ranji game. So you'll hear some updates from him as well. We'll be back at 5. Boria Mujumdar will be back at 5 live, and we'll answer your questions and possibly give an update on the Pakistan situation. So let's see what develops with that one. Thank you everyone for joining.